Hello there. So this is Tess. I'm the recycled teenager, and today it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm at my son's school's parking lot, and every day I'm here, so I decided why not use this time to vlog. Just have to figure out what I'm gonna be vlogging so that I could use this opportunity this time to vlog every day, Monday to Friday at least. So I could start with I'm a Filipino Canadian and I live here in Canada for more than 30 years. So I came to Canada on May 8, 1988. I was turning 25 years old at the time when I first flew across the Pacific Ocean. So I had to say goodbye to all my friends, my family, my relatives. My parents were didn't come with me at the time. I was alone coming to Canada, but my brother was here. He's the one who sponsored the whole family to come here. So I came here first because my parents and my twin sister, well, there's a lot going on at the time with my father still going through check up and things like that. So my sister stayed behind and waited for them while I was so excited and I couldn't wait that I came first. I would say it was my first solo travel. My father and my sister, my brother and my friend Juliet took me to the airport, and I told my mom to not say goodbye so I don't have to cry. I wasn't that emotional. I was too excited to be emotional anyway. So when I check into the airport, I wasn't afraid so much that yeah, I wasn't really afraid. A lot of times, when you fly solo, you tend to be nervous. But there was another girl who was also flying solo, and so we kind of just walked together to the departure area, and then when we get to Hong Kong, we had to stay in a hotel overnight. That's all in the ticket. The next day we had to leave early. There's a bus that picked us up to get us to the airport, and then we have to check in. Our luggage actually stayed in the airport, so it was just our overnight bag. And then on the plane to Vancouver, so I don't remember much about that incident anymore. I wasn't sitting beside the girl. But what I can remember is when I get to Vancouver and we had to change flight, and we had about an hour or 2 hours, I think, to stay there and wait for the airplane. And I was sitting on the waiting area, and I was watching all Canadians around me or any travelers. But what I remember is I was in awe because suddenly, coming from Asia, where majority are Asian with black hair and brown skin, and now I'm in an area where you see Caucasians, white people with blonde hair, and I was almost like Star Trek. I was like, who are these people? You only see them in the movie, in American films, and then here I am. I'm sitting and watching, mesmerized. I was mesmerized, really. That's what it felt like. And I was seated with a mature gentleman. He's probably Canadian. It's only when we're almost in Toronto that he spoke to me, and I remember him saying like, what do a beautiful girl like you going to do in Canada? And mind you, at the time, I didn't feel like I'm beautiful. I was never considered beautiful, to mind you. I'm an ordinary looking person who has a lot of insecurities, who's not developed yet. I was 24 looking like 12 years old. I was skinny. I was 99 pounds. I was barely 100 pounds. And I had short hair. Oh, actually, no, it's second length hair. And and really black shining hair. And this gentleman started talking to me. He said he lives outside Toronto, so that feels good. That was the first friendly person that ever spoke to me who speaks English, to me. And I got to practice my English because in the Philippines, although we studied English in school, and I can speak English, but you don't get to speak straight English with somebody in back home. We just speak Tagalog. That's it. And in school, if we have to answer the teacher, like during a school discussion or when we do presentation, stuff like that, we speak in English. I still have a strong accent then, like Tagalog accent. And the part is, the funny part, when I was speaking to this gentleman, I was thinking it in Tagalog, and then I would translate it in English, and then I would respond. So there's a little bit of delay in response or hesitation. It's funny. And then when we finally landed, it was dark already, and I could see all these lights, from the airplane. Well, I can tell that I'm now in a different world, like in a different area, and very, very, very far from the Philippines. That was I felt. Suddenly, it struck me, that hey, I'm no longer in the Philippines. I'm no longer in Asia. I'm in Canada that is still vague for me. I don't know anything much about Canada. And there was no Google at the time. So there's no information for me to find out. I didn't do any advanced research and stuff like that because it takes time. You have to go to the library or something, or go to the travel agency just to get information about the country, or probably go to buy some Lonely Planet, something like that. So it wasn't easy, but I didn't even bother. I just know that I'm coming to Canada. That's it. But yeah, during the time that the plane was landing, and it hit me. So when I pick up my luggage and I went and followed the direction of the exit, and I went through the immigration. I don't remember that part, but it wasn't hard enough. I went through very, very easy. It was easy for me then, even when I was back in the Philippines to get my visa and things like that. It was easy. It was very, very easy for me. So when I came out, I saw my brother waiting for me, and that's when I got emotional. Like I'm getting emotional now. So I gave him a hug, and I think I started crying. Like I am crying now. Good thing I have my sunglasses, and I don't know why I'm being emotional. But yeah, so that was my day one story of me going to Canada. And let me see, what time is it now? It's 2:15. And it's a long story. I have so much stories to say about my experience during those days. So when we drove, I was in awe. I think I was kind of, I don't know if it's shock. Oh, is it a culture shock when suddenly you are in a big highway, 401. I didn't know about 401 that time, but my brother was driving and I could see all these huge, wide highways. I didn't have that in Manila or in my province at the time. So that was the first. experience for me, and with all these big lights and all these cars. So you can just imagine, you know, just like a person coming from a small town. I didn't really travel in the Philippines, you know. I only know my town in Solano Nueva Vizcaya, which is in Luzon. It's in central Luzon, and Manila, where I went to university. So we have an apartment there, and then after Manila, I went to Canada. So yeah, that was my story. The first day I arrived in Canada, I was in awe. I was in shock. I was speechless. I was emotional. You know, it sank in. It felt I was very, very far away because nothing was familiar anymore. You know, there's no similarity. There's even the people at the airport when I was in Vancouver, like, I know I'm in a different place because you see all these tall, white, blonde hair. I was just mesmerized. So yeah, so that's my first vlog. So I guess I just have to continue talking about my experiences. I have to name this. I just have to name this though. So my story is going to be continued. I'm gonna have a lot of this here in the here inside the car while waiting for my son. So what can I name this series? My life in Canada? Let me think about that one. If you have any suggestions, well, tell me and I will name it. So because it's going to be a lot of series if I'm going to be doing this, and you know, over 30 years of stories. So okay, so if you want to listen to more of my life stories, please give me a thumbs up in my video and subscribe so you could follow me in this series. And if you know any name, or if you could make a suggestion how would I call this series, let me know and give me a comment below. Let's do this. This is fun, you know, going back the memory lane. So see you then and talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Could it be you?
Hi there.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. How's your day?
You are too sophisticated. Turn that off.
Well, you have to
Turn the wheel on.
remove your jacket first. It's too hot.
Why?
It's your wearing your
It's not that
winter
hot.
coat. It is hot. It's 18 degrees, baby. Look.